Hello, and welcome back, folks. I am the Bibliotech Nerd, and today you are listening to the Vintage Friday Comic Book Review, the show that goes back in time to look at some classic comics from an age gone by. Today we have a special comic all the way back from March 1960, The Brave and the Bold, number 28, The Justice League of America, Starro the Conqueror. I also believe that this is the very first appearance of the Justice League as a team. So, as always, I'm going to do a short summary and then a little spiel at the very end. And on that, I'm going to start with the intro box from the comic. Foes of evil, enemies of injustice, to the mighty heroes of the Justice League of America, all wrongdoing is a menace to be stamped out. Whether it comes from outer space, from the watery depths of the seven seas, or springs full blown from the minds of men, banded together to fight all foes of humanity, the mightiest heroes of our time battle the menace of Starro the Conqueror. Now, the story begins with Aquaman. As he comes across the menace of Starro, he recognizes the threat and wastes no time in calling the Justice League. To set the stage, we are given some short but flavoursome scenes of what the heroes are up to when they receive the call. It seems at this time, Batman and Superman are already engaged and cannot answer the call. The rest of the League quickly meet up and form a plan of action. Now, Part 1, Starro vs. Green Lantern. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. With these words, and by touching his power ring to the strange battery of power which came from interstellar space, Green Lantern derives his ability to cope with evil in all forms. Now as he rockets through the atmosphere, he is confronted by the embodiment of evil. A fierce battle erupts in the sky as the Green Lantern must stop Starro from destroying the President's plane, Air Force One. The fighting is intense and difficult against the tremendous power of Starro. Luckily, Green Lantern is able to get some direct hits, which seem to have some great effects, as this being is transformed back into the starfish that it was created from. Part 2, Starro vs. Wonder Woman and John Jones, Manhunter from Mars. Swooping down out of the sky above Science City, the Star Warrior wraps powerful tentacles about the Great Hall of Science, as Wonder Woman and John Jones put on an extra burst of speed to stop it. A titanic battle ensues. The two League members use everything they can to stop Starro. Wonder Woman even uses the invisible jet. The combined power of Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter is too much for this Starro to handle, as its power is drained and is defeated. Part 3, Starro vs. the Flash. As the grim shadow of a gigantic starfish falls across the coastal town of Happy Harbor, the Scarlet Speedster is hurtling towards one of the most fantastic adventures of his career. Not only must he find a way to defeat the monster, he must also learn the secret behind the strange immunity of his teenage pal, Snapper Carr. The stakes have never been higher, as the citizens of Happy Harbor are enthralled by this Starro, placing their lives at risk. The Flash must act quickly before lives are lost. With an ingenious plan, the Flash uses the water that Starro is hiding in to crush and defeat the being. Part 4, Starro vs. the Justice League of America. Far ahead of the hurtling Speedster and Snapper, the real Starro waits the coming of the people of Happy Harbor. We are given a short villain monologue. My starfish deputies have been destroyed, but not before they completed their missions. The atomic energy of the first deputy was relayed to the second one. The second transferred the scientist's knowledge to the third. And from the third, I learned I can control human minds as it controlled them. The Earth is mine. This time around, the Justice League members must work together if they wish to defeat Starro. The original has learned a lot from the failed clones. With some quick thinking and the aid of Snapper, they quickly learn that Lime is Starro's weakness. It doesn't take long for the Justice League to capitalize on this information and defeat Starro. End of story. What strange and evil forces will the All-Stars be called upon to battle next time? Don't miss the next issue of The Justice League of America. So that is the end of the summary, and I'll now give a small spiel on it. In all honesty, I actually think this is a brilliant comic book and a great story. It's a simple and straightforward monster fight What more could you possibly ask from superheroes? A strange creature from outer space has come to invade Earth, and its mighty defenders must rise up to the occasion and defeat it. Although there are many great, in-depth and rich stories out there, sometimes you just want some good old-fashioned action instead, you know? And I think that this comic is great at delivering exactly that. Another great addition to the story was the character of Snapper. I think he was a great comedic insert. And when he becomes an honorary member of the Justice League at the very end, it puts a little smile on your face. Now moving on to the art part of the comic. It may not compete with modern equivalents, but I really enjoyed that the fact it is quite bright, the colouring, and there's a certain flavour when we look at the characters that I think is just outstanding. I think that the best way to emphasize this is I'll put a picture of the very last panel with Snapper, Flash, and Wonder Woman. I think that her expression perfectly encompasses what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, I give this comic book top marks, and I definitely recommend for people to try and find a copy to read. I enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy this video. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. And next week, we shall be looking at Batman/Superman Public Enemies. So stay tuned for that, and I shall see you in the next video.